And in New York today, the actor Raul Juliá has died. He had an enormous range, an actor who could play the cartoonish Gomez in The Addams Family, or the tortured political prisoner in Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
What life offers me is the struggle.
Juliá, who was born in Puerto Rico, split his time between movies and the stage, everything from Shakespeare to a revival 2 years ago of the musical Man of La Mancha. Acting is about giving, he once said. The greater the acting, the greater the giving. Juliá suffered a stroke last week. He was only 54.
From San Juan, Puerto Rico, you know him as for his performances on stage, television, and film, notably Kiss of the Spider-Woman, Tequila Sunrise, and a whole bunch of other things. Here is Raul Juliá.
I've been working with the Hunger Project since 1977, so my commitment really, and as well as the commitment of 6.2 million people over the world, is to the end of hunger by the end of the century. But I find that it's all related. The environment and ending hunger is all very much related to a better world. What the Hunger Project specifically is about is through education and enrollment and communication to generate the will to end hunger in so far as we make it a priority in the political and economical agenda, right, so that we actually create opportunity for those people who are hungry to feed themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't need to be hungry. You know?
No, they don't. I'm just wondering, don't accuse me of cynicism. Now I have to ask you these questions. It's so overwhelming, hunger in the world. And the politics of this thing, and whose side are you on, and are they starving because it's not there? Are they starving because some guy is who's leading the community? How much money do we give to African nations versus Western, white? Well, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's overwhelming if we don't know anything about it. I think ignorance is what makes us overwhelmed. Once we learn the truth about the hunger, for example, or the environment, and how we can contribute, and how very much it's within our power, really, to do it, and to end hunger, and to improve the environment, and to save children from diseases and starvation, and from false vaccinations and things like that. Once we educate ourselves, then it's much easier. It's ignorance that makes us feel overwhelmed about things. I was going to say, look, how people are going to be moved to political action. They'll be moved to political action where they're outraged at what's going on. And what is going to outrage them is education, information, communication, and then enrollment. And then they'll move to political action. Anybody that says that ending hunger in the planet is impossible hasn't looked at what's happened in the past year when all the communist dictatorships of Eastern Europe, nobody could predict that. Everybody said it's impossible that communism will end in the planet, you know? So don't give me any more excuses that it can't be done. Anything can be done when a critical mass of people get behind it. And hunger is no exception. Well, look, what I see is that a new era is coming. I think you might call it the 90s era, but it's a new era for the planet. Which thinking is shifting from profit and seeing success as how much money you have in the bank, and into seeing success as what a difference you make with other people and with yourself. I think that's a shift that is happening. One thing that is important, I believe, is not to make these guys that are polluting the oceans, or the guys that are even the cattlemen, not to make them villains.
They're not.
But include them in the purpose. Include them that they can actually contribute positively.
Very good point.
You know what I'm saying? Not to separate sides and say, these are the bad guys, we're the good guys. It's no longer a matter of you or I. It's a matter of you and me. And that's very important. And that's what's going to make it work. when we get these guys to see that they can actually make a difference and contribute within their own power, their own businesses, and perhaps instead of growing cattle, they can grow oranges, or they can grow melons, or they can grow something. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of villains and good guys. It's a matter of you and me. Now this is the 90s. That's what this is about.
Very good. You remind me, and I know you'll be flattered, of Archbishop Romero.
Oh!
The man that you played in a film, one of the heroes of our century, the man who was assassinated as he said Mass on the altar in El Salvador.
The things that I learned reading John's book was that we really live in an abundant planet. We always come from insufficiency, like there's not enough to go around. We should come from abundance. I mean, reading what the amount of grain that we feed to animals could feed twice the population of the entire world. So we really have abundance in the midst of this silent holocaust that is happening every day, in which, for example, in the process of this show, in the time that it will take to do the show, 1,800 children will have died as a consequence of hunger and malnutrition, when we have abundance all around us.
Tell us about this. It is true, we are seeing an increase in the number of politically active celebrities with special skew to younger folks, including you, Raul. I don't want to be...
I'm going to take my tie
you
off.
better take your tie off. Speak about this. And
I think celebrity involvement has two aspects. There's the celebrity involvement of the celebrity that comes out into the public and doesn't know much about what they're talking about, and they're just there to be seen. And you ask them questions, and they, you know. So they're just there for their own celebrity. Yeah. Then there's the celebrity involvement that is really committed, that really studies the situation and becomes a master of his cause. Then it goes beyond charity. It's no longer charity, it's a stand that this person has taken, a commitment, and that's what's going to make a difference, not just the nice charity, my pet charity and all that stuff. Give me a chance. All right, let me answer that about getting the food where it goes. We have, for the first time in the history of humanity, been able to avert famines. The last African famine that we had was averted by the commitment of people, not only in the United States, but all over the world, that got the food where it was needed, except for maybe 2%. So it's a myth that the food doesn't get where it goes. Now, what we need to understand also is the difference between famine and chronic persistent hunger. Famine is only 10% of the people that die every day of starvation. The people, the other 90% of the 35 to 40,000 people that die every day as a consequence of hunger are people who are living in chronic persistent hunger that don't look starving, that don't look emaciated like we used to think of starvation. These are people that look normal. All they have is malnutrition. But out of malnutrition, these people get all kinds of curable diseases. And this is the majority of the people that are dying constantly every day from chronic persistent hunger and not famine.
It was asked before what provoked you people to get active in this, and I don't recall there being an answer. What turned each one of you around to promote this lifestyle?
I speak?
Certainly.
Thank you. With me, it was the Hunger Project. I got involved in 1977 when I realized that we could actually end hunger in the planet, and through ending hunger, improve the environment, and of course, have people eat and create the opportunity to eat for themselves. So that's what got me involved.
Raul, I know that you were involved with Results, which is a political will to end hunger, and they promote, I know, vaccinations of third world children. How do you respond to Lisa's claim about vaccination?
I think the situation in the third world is different from the developing world. And I think still the mothers in the third world have to learn to think for themselves. Yes. But in general, it's something that creates health for children in the third world.